Hey, chicks, let's chat. I'm gonna jump right into it. Forgiving him, but hating her. That is something that I have noticed throughout my life. That has been one thing that has been a very, very consistent characteristic that we have. I don't know if it's just, when I say we, I mean women. I don't know if it's just a black and brown thing or if it carries over into other women. I would love to hear the comments. But one thing that we do and one practice that we have as black women is that we are quick to forgive a male or the man in the situation. But we're going to give the woman the whole charge, right? And by that, I mean, some kind of way we end up making the issue lie on the woman totally. Now, we may say with our words, oh, it was his fault too, the two, right? We'll say, oh, he was wrong first. But guess what? In our hearts and in our mind, we make her be wrong for the longest and last. He might have been wrong first, but to the death of us, she's going to always be wrong, right? One thing that we have to learn to do is start coming to the table and forgiving that other woman in our hearts and in our mind. And when I say we, I mean me too. Because Lord knows I've been guilty of it. So that's why I can talk about it. I don't have no reason not to talk about it because I feel like I have grown from that place. But yeah, I see so many people still remain in that space. And that's the wrong space to be in. And I can say that having been in that space. I can say it for all the times that I've done it. And then I had to sit back one day and ask, like, why do we do that? Because I may have not seen it when I was doing it, but I will pick up on it quick when someone else is doing it, right? And I'm the type of person that I'm all for forgiveness. And if you want to forgive that joker a billion trillion times, that's on you because that's your life. You're going to have to deal with the rise and the falls, the wins, and take the L's on all of that, right? At the end of the day. So I'm slow to say, get rid of this person, leave them alone. I'm slow to do that because I feel like a person have to come to terms in their heart and their mind, to really do that. So I'm slow to push for that, right? But I'm quick to notice when a woman is just trying to throw all the blame on another woman. I'm quick to notice when she has nothing but bad things to say about that other woman, right? And I don't like to see that because one thing about it, as women, we know how we go. We know our mindset, and knowing our own mindset, it should help us have a better understanding of the other woman. And then for whatever reason, it seemed like we don't. We act like we not women. We act like we don't know how it goes when we dealing with men, right? And we quick to downplay everything about the other woman as if there were no great qualities about her. And even if there are no great qualities about her, the fact still remains that he wanted her, he was dealing with her, he was entertaining her, and you know that he was, because if he wasn't, you wouldn't even have no issue with her, right? We have that little thing in our heart, just in the pit of our gut, that we be knowing, and that's not to say that it's always right, but a lot of times it is. And that's why that one particular woman, you don't care for her. You know why? Because that's the one he cared about. He had feelings for that woman. It was something special they had going on. And you may not be able to figure out in your heart of hearts, like, why? What was it about her that he was attracted to? He probably done told you a whole bunch of lies about how the situation ended or how it began, or some kind of way he fluffed it up. And so it made you feel like, oh, it wasn't nothing. Oh, he didn't like her like that. Oh, and then that made you poke your chest out a little bit. No, you have no reason to poke your chest out. Not even a little bit when it comes to that other woman. Because number one, it's very few men who will sit and be like, wow, she was so wonderful. Like, everything about her I loved. Even the way she smelled, her breath, I loved it. Like, it's very few men who will sit there and tell you, like, the whole keep it a buck with you about her. You know, he's gonna throw something in some kind of, he gonna throw something in there to make it seem like she wasn't as great as even he thought she was in the moments when they was dealing, right? And of course you have to know that's to spare your feelings. Very few men gonna sit in front of you and tell you how wonderful that other woman was, right? Very few men gonna do that unless that lady dead. You know, now if she dead, he might sit and be like, yeah, you know, she was wonderful. We had a great relationship, boom, boom, because she's no longer a threat to you. So then he could, you know, he could tell you that about her. But if that girl is walking this earth and somewhere, somehow y'all still in the same state or same city or something, he probably gonna throw some salt in the game and act like that girl wasn't all that, you know, in some kind of way, shape, or form. And you, with your insecure self, you want to believe that so real bad. Real bad. You want to believe that she was not this and she not that, because you done made up in your mind that she not raw than you. You know, like, she has nothing on you, right? So you want to believe whatever it is that he's telling you. So you want to get her the charge, whatever the charge is, whether it was messing with, you know, him. You want to say, well, she knew about me, or, you know, she knew this and she shouldn't have did it, and, you know, she had to know, and this, you know, and it ain't always that she knew. It ain't always that she had to know. Because 9 times out of 10, he wasn't telling her that. He was not telling her that, y'all, that even if they together, he wasn't saying, oh, we have a wonderful relationship. Like, I don't plan on going nowhere. Like, I absolutely love her to the day I die, and I'm just doing this with you. Men don't be saying that. And y'all know that. Y'all know that if you dealing with somebody and he has somebody, or there was somebody else before you, you know, and they was together for a long time, you know how he do. He's gonna downplay the situation. He gonna act like, you know, they ain't together no more, or it's been over between them. They was just still kicking it for this, that, other third. They were just still living together because they was splitting bills. And that's not to say that some of that ain't even true. Because sometimes, especially in these times, a lot of that is true. A lot of people be together and don't be together, right? So that's what made the whole situation be real messy, you know. And then when we find out about it, we in our feelings. But girl, you already knew that y'all relationship was garbage. You knew that y'all relationship was garbage and y'all ain't really had nothing going on. Y'all was just trying to pay these bills and still together based on y'all history. But you wasn't growing. You been stopped growing 5 years ago. So then when you hear that he not messing with this girl, now you in your feelings and you start kind of, you know, feeling some kind of way. Like your little feelings start coming back. Why that happens to us, I don't know. Because we know we been ain't like them for years. But then when we hear about he with somebody else, we start feeling like as if this girl has a new man, as if she has somebody that you already didn't want to deal with no more. You know, we start letting our minds play tricks on us in that way. Girl, you already didn't like him. For the last couple years, you ain't wanted him. And you know that. Now that she's with him, now you feeling like, oh, well, you know, what does she have that I don't? Nothing. Not nothing. She don't really have anything that you did. It's just she likes him now. She's willing to entertain him now. She hasn't went through with him what you did. He ain't did to her what he did to you. So that's why she can entertain him freely, like he's the best thing since sliced bread. In her mind, he is the cat's meow and the dog's bow wow. Right? So we have to learn to be cool with that. It's a new experience for her. She has not been through what you've been through. So she's not going to be looking at him, you know, with crossed eyes the way you look at him. She's not going to feel in her heart the way you feel about him after he done took you up, round and through there a few times. You know, but yet it still will feel some kind of way towards her. Right? And that's just our minds and our emotions getting the best of us. And we have to stop letting that happen. because it's unfair to the woman, because you don't call her all kinds of everything in your mind and in your heart, even to her face probably, and for what? For what? Because she's really an innocent victim in this until she starts to experience what you experience with him. If he isn't a changed man, she gonna go through some of the same things or worse. So then why be mad at her about what she's about to experience? And then in those situations where she doesn't, and perhaps she gets a better version of him, does it mean she was a better woman than you? No, it meant she got a better version of him. He probably learned from losing you that the next go around, if I meet a decent woman, I'm gonna treat her better because I don't want to lose again. So it be so many different dynamics to situations and circumstances, but as women, we always seem to take those things to heart, and we tend to have a negative overview of the other woman, whether she's the next woman to come or whether she's the last woman before you, And that's just something that I noticed, and I just think that's something that we have to work on, and we have to, at some point, we have to start being honest with ourselves. I've even seen situations where, the woman come in, you now with the dude, and you don't want your kids to interact with his other kids because of her. Not that she's been a problem for you. Now, the ones who be a problem for you, I'm all for staying away from them and not entertaining them, not indulging them, whatever, right? Because they're a problem, and when you have something to lose, you don't have time to entertain problems, right? But when it's just you insecure as a woman, so now your kids can't play with her kids or go to her parties, or like, that is the most foolish thing ever. Like, those are the things that I'm so glad that I didn't have to be in the midst of, as it pertains to kids, because I sit back and I watch and I see some of the stupidest things, even to the point where you don't even want to tell your kids that these are their sisters and brothers because of who the mom is, what you and the mom have went through. Neither one of y'all are mature enough to say, you know what, we're going to put all of that aside and let our kids have a good sibling relationship. Like, I've seen so much foolishness, even to the point where, like, a woman won't let the man kid come to the house. You won't let the man kid come to the house? But this is a prime example when I say you forgive him, but you hold her accountable for everything. So you still with the man, but his kid can't come to your house? So you pissed off with the kid mama, really? So you gonna take it out on the kid, but you gonna stay with the man? And that makes sense to you? And you don't have no homegirl with enough guts to say you wrong for that. Your mama, your aunties, nobody who talked to you would have enough guts to tell you you wrong for that. You gonna stay with him, but take it out on his kid? Girl, you is some kind of garbage of a heifer, ain't you? Like, no, you can't give the girl and the kid the charge and then let him, he just skate free. Oh, I straightened him too. Oh, I told him to. Girl, hush. Girl, hush. That's all you did was run your mouth. Because he wasn't stunning, and you didn't mean none of that trash you was talking. You still with him, hoping he don't leave for somebody better, but yet you're going to hold it against him. Oh, his kid can't come. Oh, the baby mama better not drop her off to my house. All that type of... You ain't even mature enough to be in a relationship. And that relationship is probably garbage anyways. But you ain't mature enough to deal with those type of situations, because every then and again, even in good relationships, you will have bad situations that come. And if you're going to stay with the man, baby, you got to know how to maneuver even in the bad situation. Somebody has to be mature. When he has stepped out or he doesn't know how to handle this situation in a mature style, then you as the woman, it lands on your shoulder. You have to be the soldier. You have to be the one that say, you know what, if I'm going to stay with you, this how this finna play out. If I'm going to forgive you for whatever it is you did, and now I got to deal with a baby mama, or I got to deal with a kid, or whatever it is, this is how this is going to play out. Right? Somebody has to be the mature person, and these are things that we learn as we go, because again, like I said, I've been in all kind of crazy situations, and I definitely didn't always handle them right, but it irks my nerve to see women even older than me who don't handle it right. Because in this life, you're supposed to be learning and growing, and so it's weird to me that you in your 50s and you talking about his little girl can't come to y'all house. You still don't have no relationship with this girl, and she might be in her teenage years, but you still with the daddy. But you never forgave the mama, never forgave her. And listen, I get it, because a lot of times these dudes still be playing in people's face. They still be doubling back with them women. So yeah, you don't want to, welcome her or the kid with open arms and then find out they still messing around. But that's a situation between you and him. Because if either you gonna forgive him because you feel like he's changed and deal with all the foolishness that now comes with him, or that may be a situation you should have been gone from, But yeah, I just say, consider the things that you're doing. Consider how you're thinking about another woman, because your feelings are not any more valid than hers. Unless you that man's wife or something, your feelings don't hold no more weight than hers. She have feelings just like you do. He sold her a bunch of stories, and she had high hopes and all that, just like you did. You know what I'm saying? But what we do, we forget him and get a woman to charge every time. Y'all enjoy your night.